Hi.
Hi, welcome to Membriash.
I'm Ashley.
I'm Mitch, and this is your premier place for celebrity gossip.
No, it's not. I would recommend Marky if you're looking for.
Is he the Irish guy?
Yeah, love
Yeah.
Marky.
Yeah, he's not doing the cruise though. They wanted him to do the cruise. And
No, they didn't want him to do the cruise.
Oh, they didn't want him to do the cruise.
He pulled people, and they said they didn't.
Oh,
he
that's
didn't,
true.
Yeah, they didn't want him to
He
go on the
offered
cruise.
it, and they were like, "Don't do the cruise." He offered it.
He would have paid for that cruise,
Okay.
and they didn't want it. We didn't want it.
We didn't want it. And today, what we do want is to talk about the failure of the Golden Bachelor's relationship.
Yeah, pretty sad. You've probably already heard. A few days ago, we learned some tragic news that Gerry Turner and Theresa Nist were getting divorced.
Yeah, she never changed her last name, huh?
3 months of marriage.
Yeah.
Well, some of us don't change our last
Yeah,
names.
you haven't either.
It's
been 20 years almost.
Yeah, we've been married for like 10 years or something, and I still haven't changed my
Married
last
10,
name.
Yeah.
Is this? This is our
10 and 10.
10-year wedding
So it's
anniversary.
like 10 years relationship, 10 year married. Okay, so we're more successful than Gerry and Theresa.
Well, yeah.
And that's why we're qualified to talk about this.
No, you don't need qualifications to have opinions. Okay?
We have a camera and a microphone.
That's all you need, honestly. Okay, anyway, so Theresa and Gerry went together on Good Morning America on the 12th of April.
And announced
the year of our Lord 2024.
Anno Domini.
And they jointly announced that they were separating and divorcing.
But they still love each other or something?
I don't know.
That's like... what?
You know what it reeks to me of is
What?
like, you know, when people release joint statements that are celebrities and
We
they're
still
like,
very much love each other.
right, we
We're doing it for the
respect
kids.
each other,
Yeah.
and then years later it comes out that they hate each other.
Yeah.
And there was actually like tons of bad blood, but like they didn't want to talk about it.
Gerry's
which
got
is
some
fine.
weird fetish or something, or Theresa is like not gonna hang up her dominatrix whip yet because she still has a good business going or something. I don't know.
That's actually a great segue into
Really?
So both. Let's first talk about the public reason they gave for their divorce. So publicly, they said that they both loved each other a lot, but they couldn't figure out logistically how to make living together work.
Which I think a lot of us had questions about that.
Yeah, because he was from Indiana.
And she's from
New Jersey.
Yeah. And they're talking about the Carolinas maybe.
But they both had family in their locations. And at least, especially in Theresa's case, I mean, it sounded like she was in her grandkids' lives like every single day. So
Big
to
shift.
uproot her life like that would have been a really big change. So the public reason they gave was basically that they couldn't work that out. And then being in a long distance marriage was not really what either of them had.
So they're basically like, it's been a couple of months of marriage. We can't figure out how we're actually going to get this in one place. And you know what? It's a beautiful idea, but it's just not meant for us.
Yeah. Do you know what I heard?
What?
This is not, vet this on your
Gossip. Disclaimer.
own. Disclaimer.
Wait,
Allegedly, she had to return her engagement ring. Because Neil Lane, he gives them the engagement rings, right?
What's the
for all
stipulation?
these. I think it's like a year or something.
What?
They're basically under a contract because to prevent people from just getting engaged and then keeping their very expensive
They're expensive, then
rings.
hawking it basically. Yeah,
right. So instead, they like sign something saying that they'll, return it if they're not together for a certain amount of time.
I mean, it sounds like Nist doesn't need the money.
No. Which brings us to our second reason.
Oh, wow.
Some of which has been publicly discussed, but some of which is like conjecture, okay?
I love how you're like facilitating this.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Which is that he didn't like her job. So she
What? 'Cause she's still working.
works, right?
Okay.
And she has it sounds like she has a pretty
full
important
career.
full-time job.
And she's a person that's like, family's important, but her job's important too. That's what I'm hearing.
Well, and living in New Jersey, she can do both. She can go to work every day and do what she needs to do, and she can also spend time with her grandkids and her kids. So he basically was like, I'm retired. I want someone to hang out with me all the time and go on fancy vacations and do fun stuff.
So he was looking for codependency and he didn't get it.
Well,
No,
I don't know if that's
I'm kidding.
so harsh. She's not looking to retire yet.
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah, I get that.
And that is a big... We actually talked about that on the show because Faith I think was younger than him and was not like
retirement age she's still yet. Working. Yeah, right. She was like 60.
Yeah, and it was like, how are they going to manage that? And I guess that it became an issue for them, is what some people are saying.
Not what they're saying.
Well, she said publicly, I still work, and that's a hurdle.
Oh, okay. That's definitely a problem then.
Right.
Yeah,
so who knows if like what the actual deal breaker was, but it sounds like there were some issues with that as well. But I think the main reason we want to talk about this is like the fact that people are reacting like pretty intensely to the fact that they're divorced.
Well, it does feel like a massive letdown. And it doesn't make me think that like their journey wasn't legitimate on the show. Like actually the reasons they're giving make total sense to me. But it is a massive letdown. It is like, it was the first Bachelor show I have watched since, I don't know, the series first came out like almost 2 decades ago. Right. I was just haven't cared at all. And we started this channel up. It's one of our first things. Yeah. So for me, I just feel like really disappointed. All the tears we poured into that show.
Okay.
But it's not my call.
And also, so to me, my personal opinion is like, I didn't expect this relationship to last any more than I expect any of the Bachelorette relationships. It's not special just because
they're golden or whatever.
And I'm more surprised when they make it work and they stay together and like they're together long term. Like that's more shocking to me than the fact that they ended up divorced. Like I don't think that
Yeah, it's a normal turn of events for shows like this.
Yeah. And then the thing that got me, so like some other people are saying, I guess, that they feel like the show is kind of like their hopes are dashed or their feelings about the show are different, whatever. But I don't feel that way because I feel like what we got was just a whole bunch of really genuine people on the show that normally does not attract transparency, honesty, genuineness. Like
it felt way more. I enjoyed the Golden Bachelor way more than I did the Joey season.
Yeah,
it felt a lot more real. Like the emotions were real. Like people coming in with heavy stuff and having like kind of, I don't know, like big conversations.
Yeah. And that's what I loved about it. So I don't feel like any of my like tears were wasted or anything like that. Like I don't feel any love lost because they got divorced.
We were never like we liked Gerry. We liked Theresa, but like neither of them were like our favorite people in the world too. I'm not like heartbroken that they don't have like each other. Like they have plenty of people in their lives too. And
absolutely.
They both dated or whatever.
They're
and will
both
continue to. They'll be fine.
I thought it was faster than I expected. But it didn't really like affect me deeply in any kind of way.
Quick, but they're also like maybe some people would make it work or try and make it work more, and maybe their experience and their age is making them be like, well, why are we just like pissing back and forth and not coming to any conclusion about what we're going to do with our lives? Like this just isn't working kind of thing. Like it almost makes sense that they broke it off relatively quickly given like the context of everything.
It's got to be hard to maintain. Like long distance relationships are tough, and if you don't have a vision for the future that includes the two of you and you feel like you're getting further and further away from that as time goes on rather than closer like towards it, I don't think I would want to continue a relationship for very long.
Pretty long distance.
And then you add in the age factor on top of it. So the fact that they've both lived a lot more of their lives and probably if they want to find other people, want to like be able to get on with that journey as quickly as possible.
I have a question for you.
What?
Is there somebody from the show that you think would not be getting divorced from Gerry right now that was a top contender?
No.
No? Okay. You think like this is just the natural culmination of anything that would have happened in that show?
I don't know. I think it would have been okay, so his other top people to me were like Leslie, same
Faith.
Issue, right? Leslie would have had the same problem. Like she was deeply ingrained in Minnesota and like her family there. And I don't think it would have worked out well. Her whole life was in
Minnesota. Also, she's talking about the old school days hanging out with Prince. Like she's been there for decades.
Yeah, that is like her home.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, their personalities were a weird match.
Yeah, it was a weird match. Looking in hindsight, it made no sense at all.
It made no sense. Yeah. Right. Faith wasn't leaving those horses.
She was not, nor should she. We could do a whole spin-off show of her just like tending the horses.
Honestly, I'd watch it.
Living out in rural Washington.
I wouldn't leave my animals. Yeah. Like if I had to, I would not do that. No way. Yeah. And then, like, Joan, who left earlier, she also had a full-time... She was a school administrator. Like, she has a big job. Yeah. So, yeah, I think he probably would have ended up divorced. Okay. What do you think?
So, we're saying this is inevitable. Yeah, no, when we talk about who else was up top, I'm like, no.
I think Theresa was the best, like, a hope for it to work out of that group of people. But I'm not surprised that it didn't. I don't know if I would say famous, but a few like famous adjacent people
have
reacted to the divorce. And one of those people is Tyler Cameron.
I don't know. And I don't know these names.
I'm
just here.
Who remembers Tyler Cameron? But Tyler Cameron was on Hannah Brown's season of The Bachelorette. And then afterwards, he dated Gigi Hadid, who is actually famous, which I think like bumped up his
he's climbing
mini stardom.
Thank you for the crash course for all everybody else who's uninitiated like me.
Right. So if you don't know, that's who Tyler Cameron is. But like otherwise, I don't really know what he does. Do you know what I mean? Like he's not.
What do any of them do?
Right. Anyway.
Probably sells vitamins on.
Probably hawks supplements on Instagram. Probably, honestly.
So get swole like me.
This is what he went on the Happy Hour, which is on Sirius XM. Does anyone listen to?
I didn't know that was still a thing, honestly.
Do people listen to Sirius XM still? Anyway, so this is what he said. Tyler.
Oh God.
They put a stain on love and Bachelor Nation because it was the most wholesome. Like it brought so much joy back to The Bachelor of not this like people wanted to go on just to be influencers that brought joy and true love that we thought. And then they just pulled the rug right out from under us.
The 31-year-old said.
A stain? A stain on This is what he thinks stained Bachelor Nation? Is this? Am I the only one that thinks that is like ludicrous
This
language?
Isn't even a controversy. This is just like that is really hard to go at.
All that happened was two people broke up, and this is a 31-year-old man using like, and maybe he's just being dramatic. I'm dramatic sometimes, but like the language he's using to describe this is out of control.
If you said something like that, you would either not be able to complete it and you'd laugh halfway through, or you'd laugh at the end and be like, haha. You know,
it's a joke.
On
love. Love as a whole, man. They stained love.
They stained love.
Like, wow.
I know. So I get what he's saying, though. Like, at the core of it, he kind of says what you and I have already said. And it's like what a lot of people felt, that it kind of felt a little more authentic, a different crowd. They didn't seem like they were there to be famous.
Yeah.
And that can all still be true.
All of that is still the case.
Stain on love? Like, that's ridiculous.
And then he also said, it's just two stubborn old people, you know?
What?
And when you get older, you get more stubborn.
What the man? So he's just coming for the older individuals? She's just stereotyping old people.
Like,
Jesus
Christ.
What is
wrong with this man? People are not going to stay in a relationship just to please you, sir.
Ageism is alive and well.
Right.
With like, Bachelor alums
because
over here.
They don't work out. Like, if we didn't
work out... The 31-year-old said.
Will we just be stubborn? Like, that's not what's happening. They gave actually very real reasons, and I'm sure that's not the whole of it. I'm sure there's more stuff behind the scenes that happen. It doesn't make people stubborn to realize that a relationship isn't working and to end that relationship. Like, that's a healthy thing to do. If a relationship is not working for you and it's not serving you, then don't be in it anymore.
And is he still Gigi Hadid?
No, of course not.
Did that put a stain on love? Like... That doesn't make any sense. Like,
he's basically making it like, because they're older, they're like more responsible for staying together. Like, staying together for the kids is like the vibes that I get.
Like, dude, you're a grown adult.
The kids are in their 30s and they're random people throughout the country.
Yeah.
Like, makes no sense to me whatsoever. Yeah, so I don't know. That's the biggest thing that I heard.
That's nonsense. I mean, everybody's a little like, oh no, but like, I honestly haven't watched anything. I just heard some people comment on it.
Well, and then Nick Viall, he said he was caught off guard and surprised by how abrupt it was.
That is an appropriate response.
Yeah,
that is like kind of how I feel. Like,
I wasn't expecting. I think it's rare too. Often, I think people separate and then they just don't say anything for long periods of time.
They don't go into a TV show and then make a joint statement most of the time.
Which honestly is a pretty good way to do it. You're getting ahead of it. Like, tabloids didn't break it. Like, they just told people what was happening, you know? It's
there's an amicability there because they're able to do that together. They came together on something.
Yeah.
You know?
But yeah.
It doesn't make me think the show's any more fake than I already did. Like, there's fake elements to it. There's real elements to it. That's reality TV.
Absolutely.
And like, the show fixes it and makes it kind of difficult. And it's a little bit of a, you know, it's like, it's all the same problems with Bachelor that was always there.
Right.
You're on a honeymoon the whole time. It's not real life. You have to learn to adjust and make it work.
Yes.
Like, it's probably more than half of the people don't stay together.
Absolutely.
Or something. Like, okay.
Way more.
So there's the largest probability that they're not going to make it.
Absolutely. And it's totally normal. It's also normal just in like dating, and that's an extraordinary dating scenario where like you said, you have to make it work in the real world, and that's a lot harder and more. You encounter things you didn't expect when you do that.
Yeah, I doubt they got married. Some dirt came out about Gerry, but it wasn't really that big, and I don't think it impacted anything. I don't know.
That to me was bigger bombshell, honestly. Yeah, right? All that stuff about Gerry than the fact that they're getting divorced. I feel like a lot of people saw this coming. I don't think that this was really that shocking, and I feel like Tyler Cameron was, I don't know, living in like La La Land or something, like pretending it was like a Disney fairy tale. I just really don't understand. I really don't understand.
You know what happened? He was at home watching, and he's tearing up. He's like, "Oh my God!" And they just felt so betrayed. He felt so betrayed, like he was personally injured. Like, that's probably what it is.
Or he's just being dramatic on a podcast. That's like the other thing too. Like sometimes I say things that are like a little,
okay, we're running with intense.
It. Well, he
ran
said
with it, so we're running with it.
He needs to stand behind it. He said this, so
stand by it or rescind, sir.
Or be like, I was a little heated.
Just blame it on the Ambien, bro.
Go with the Tiger Woods method.
Oh, I thought that was wasn't that Roseanne? Didn't she like do a bunch of racist stuff and say it was Ambien?
Poor Ambien getting blamed for the world's problems. Anyway, what do you think? Are you like, was this shocking to you that they're getting divorced?
Should we be more mad?
Right. Like, I'm not really upset. Should I be? Do you think, are you upset?
Even in the moments, we share our reactions to stuff, but I'm not invested in any of this.
And they haven't been together that long.
Yeah.
So it's not really shocking that they broke up.
It's like a small business. They're most likely to fail in like the beginning couple of years, Like...
Right. Like yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
There you go. So the majority of them do. So it's just like the Golden Bachelor marrying.
Yeah. Marriage. Does this change your feelings about Golden Bachelorette?
So, not me.
I'm still going to watch.
But they haven't announced the person, which is frustrating.
I know. When are they going to do that? Anyway, so...
Yeah.
Tell us what you think. We'll still be tuning into Golden Bachelorette. They did say it's going to be September when it releases. So that is a while.
We're going to have to.
But we will for sure be here watching that with all y'all.
Go ahead and rage in the comments if you want to. Yeah. Like, go off if that's what makes you happy.
Yes, whatever makes you happy. Please share it with us. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Like, subscribe, comment for engagement, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.
Thanks, bye.
Bye.
And then I got it knocked, and I started going,
ridiculous.
All those tearjerker.
Hey, we're going to go on a cruise this summer. You should come with us.